Have you ever poured a glass of water and wondered what's really inside it? It looks clean, it tastes fine, but as an analytical chemist, I don't just see water. I see a complex mixture of molecules. Some are harmless, others not so much. I work with tools that can detect chemicals at levels smaller than a grain of salt in an Olympic-sized pool. And what we find in our water, pesticides, plastics, and chemical byproduct can affect the environment and our health in ways many people never think about. Today, I want to take you on a journey through 4 invisible challenges: pesticides residue, filtration membranes, phthalates, and wastewater reuse, and show you how chemistry is helping us solve them.
Let's start with pesticides. These are chemicals used to protect crops from pests and diseases. They don't stay on the fields, yet rain washes them off to rivers, lakes, and underground water. And that's where chemistry steps in. We use instruments like gas chromatography and mass spectrometry to detect pesticide residues in water, even in tiny amounts. You might wonder why the fuss. Well, considering that pesticides are toxic to fish and birds even at low concentrations, and some can accumulate in human tissues over time, affecting the nervous system or even acting as carcinogens, that should be enough reason to do the detection analysis. As chemists, our role is to track where these pesticides go, their lifetime, and risks that they pose. With that information, environmental agencies set safety limits and guide farmers towards safer practices.
Now, let's talk about how we clean that contaminated water. But firstly, what contaminates water? Various processes such as globalization, widespread industrialization, urbanization, disruption, and eutrophication can contaminate water with pollutants such as pharmaceuticals, heavy metals, organic and inorganic dissolved salts, and plankton. Example, bacteria and viruses. One of the most powerful tools we have for water purification is membrane filtration. Let me paint you a picture. Think of a membrane as a molecular sieve that permits water through, but blocks larger particles, bacteria, and even some dissolved chemicals. Various types of membrane include microfiltration, ultrafiltration, nanofiltration, and reverse osmosis. Each of them is designed to block smaller and smaller contaminants. For example, reverse osmosis is so precise that it can turn seawater into drinking water. So, what happens when membranes clog, wear out, or fail? You guessed right. Chemistry comes to the rescue, analyzing the water before and after filtration and studying how particles interact with membrane surfaces helps in developing coatings and cleaning methods to make membranes last longer and perform better. Thus, turning chemistry into clean water and clean water into life.
Now, moving on to another invisible issue, phthalates. Have you ever wondered what makes a plastic soft? That's because it contains phthalate. Phthalates can be found in packaging, cosmetics, medical tubing, and kids' toys. The problem starts when phthalates slowly leak out into the environment and end up in water, soil, and even human tissue. Some phthalates are called endocrine disruptors, which means they can interfere with hormones. Others are linked to developmental issues and cancer. By applying liquid chromatography mass spectrometry, we can detect phthalates at very low concentrations. This helps government regulate them, industries replace them, and scientists understand their long-term effect. Last but not least, something most people avoid: wastewater. Wastewater can be described as used water or liquid waste that can be classified into domestic and industrial wastewater. Did you know that every time you flush a toilet or drain a sink, that water goes to a treatment plant? Yeah, that's right. But the amazing part is that wastewater isn't just waste, it's a resource. Here's how. Biogas can be produced from the leftover sludge and used for energy. Nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus can be extracted to make fertilizers. And with the right treatment, we can even reuse the water for irrigation or industrial use. Tests for heavy metals, pathogens, toxins, and drug residues are a necessity to ensure that what we recover is clean and safe. With the right monitoring and treatment, wastewater can become a part of a circular economy where nothing is wasted and everything has value. And all that is possible with analytical chemistry. So let's do a recap. What did we learn? We learned that chemistry helps us detect hidden dangers, purify resources, beware of new pollutants, and turn waste into something valuable. With chemistry, we have tools not just to survive, but to also build a cleaner, safer, and more sustainable future. So, next time you turn on your tap or toss something in the trash, keep in mind that there's a whole world of molecules at work. And behind that world, scientists like us are working overtime to make sure it's safe and sustainable. We need more awareness, monitoring, and better alternatives.